What's west of Westeros? It's a loaded question, I know, and one with a lot of talk surrounding it lately, since Arya Stark claimed in the final episode she wants to go west of Westeros. Does the Sunset Sea go on indefinitely, or could there be anything out there? A decent place to begin answering this question is to observe the known world in this universe. I say known world because there is no given name in the series. Characters only address it as the world. There are a total of 3 currently known continents in the Thrones universe: Westeros, Essos, and Sothros. We know of 7, now 6 I suppose, kingdoms in Westeros. It is the setting and home of most of the story in the series, but not all. The narrow sea separates Westeros and Essos. Essos extends thousands of miles and has various types of terrains and mountains. A good way to think about Essos is to think of it like Westeros. There's a barrier separating the continent, whereas in Westeros they have the wall, in Essos they have Bone Mountains. South of Essos is Sothros. This marvel is relatively unknown, and scarcely referenced, but there are a few things we do know. We know it's huge. Like, really huge. We know it's covered in jungles, it's plague-ridden, and largely unexplored. Geography lovers may have already noticed before, but the map inside of Game of Thrones is strikingly similar to that of our own real world. Westeros is similar to that of England, Essos is similar to that of West Europe and Russia, and Sothros could be compared to Africa. Although strictly geography speaking, we have the northernmost tip Sothros to work with. So how does this tie into finding out what's west of Westeros? Well, it's a point of reference. The series' world map is clearly influenced by real-world maps. So the west of Westeros, considering Westeros to be real-world England, it would mean that there's a plethora of land to be discovered, right? Maybe. There's been several characters to try to explore the Sunset Sea before. One such notable character is Brandon the Shipwright. Bran tells the story of Brandon within A Storm of Swords. Brandon loved the sea and set out to discover what could lay past the Sunset Sea. He set sail and was never seen again. It's possible we could see his story portrayed in the future spin-off, but considering he set sail thousands of years before even Aegon's conquest, it seems unlikely. It would only be shown for context's sake, the context being that a Stark sailing west is not a unique happening for the first time. Although Brandon was lost and never heard of again, there is bitter mystery surrounding another explorer in the series, named Elissa Farmen. She was raised on ships, and longed for exploring west. Elissa was much like Arya in her rebellious and tough mentality. Elissa's story is worth a video in her own right, but the short version is that she stole 3 dragon eggs from the Targaryens at Dragon's Reach to sell and build her own fleet and sail west. If these 3 eggs sound familiar from the show's adaptation of Daenerys' eggs, then you're likely right. However, George R.R. Martin has stated on occasion that this is not concrete evidence. Nonetheless, she got her fleet and set sail from Old Town with the crew she's already made. They left with 3 ships and only 1 returned. The ship that returned did not have Elissa on it. It was claimed that lightning struck and burned the ship until it sank. Others say there was a more sinister and mysterious explanation, such as a kraken. Either way, the voyage was not a total failure. Elissa and her crew did find 3 islands, further west than any other known land. Whereas her crew wanted to sail back to Westeros, she voyaged on, and like Brandon, was never seen again. Or was she? I mentioned before that there are 3 known continents. However, there is a 4th. There is remarkably little known about this land. This continent is named Othos, and it is located southeast of Essos. As already stated, little is known about the lands east of the Bone Mountains, so much of this is speculation or folktales. Regardless, southeastern Essos, and what is little discovered of Othos, is considered to be a mysterious and dark place in the Game of Thrones universe. Another character in the series, named Corlys Velaryon, claimed that he saw with his own eyes a ship in the city of Asai in Essos that only could have belonged to Elissa. It is possible she sailed around the world and landed on the east coast of Essos, or the coast of Othros. It is never really clearly established in the series if this is in fact her ship. We may never know if it truly was hers or not, if she discovered new land, or if she didn't and just sailed around the world. Because the world in Game of Thrones is so heavily influenced on our real world, it is likely that there is undiscovered land west of Westeros, Will Arya discover these lands and start a new civilization, or are there already pre-established civilizations there? It is possible she will fall yet as another victim lost to the Sunset Sea. But it would make for a fantastic story if she was to find land. Even more thrilling if there was life there, or cities that have already been thriving for generations by Brandon and Elissa. Ultimately, we may never know. What do you think is west of Westeros? Do you think Arya will be seen or heard from again? Comment down below your theories. Don't forget to subscribe for more Ice and Fire content and become a Monarch citizen.